The mornings after the defeat at the West, and it's a dry, cold morning here in Yaoundé, Cameroon. After the Ghana Black Stars lost to Comoros Islands, a new side to the African Cup of Nations. They are playing in their first Afcon and got their very first win versus four-time African champions Ghana. Congratulations to Comoros. Today I'm going to look at the game that went on between the two sides. What next for the Black Stars? Following comments by Coach Milovan that he is looking forward to coach this team in the World Cup qualifiers. He's also been in the job for a very short while. We'll look at those comments. We'll look at where it all went wrong for Ghana. Why did the Black Stars underperform at this African Cup of Nations? And how do they resolve and get back on track, especially with the World Cup qualifiers just a couple of months away? As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. Before I go into why the Ghana Black Stars did not do well, which players did well on the night, and the way forward, you have to know historically that this is not the first time Ghana has had such a dip in form, and this has been a long time coming. And now, in 1982, after Ghana won their fourth title, they did not make it a group stage elimination in 1984. After 1984, Ghana did not make it to the Afcon until 1992. 1992, we made it to the final and lost to Ivory Coast. On to 2006, and then we were eliminated from the group stages. Went to the World Cup and did marvelously well, being the only African country that made it to the round of 16 in its first ever World Cup campaign. 2008 to 2017, we made the semi-final berths minimum of the African Cup of Nations, making it to two finals, losing on both occasions, and finishing third in 2008 as host. There have been topsy-turvy times in Ghana football history. Let no one deceive you that the Ghana football history has been glorified with so many laurels and accolades and medals. Yes, there have been times like that, but there have been also slumps and dips in form. Having said that, this is unacceptable. This is the first time Ghana has been eliminated from the African Cup of Nations without winning a single game. Yes, 1 point on the board, finishing below newcomers Comoros Islands, and having been disciplined by them. I have to say, the sad thing about last night's performance, and I even stated it as a comment in one of my videos, is that the Black Stars players seemed to play better when they were playing with 10 men than they were with 11 men. It was like they had been freed of certain shackles that were tying them down to a way they were supposed to play. It was not a great sighting to have that happen before that reaction. It was like they had no choice than to play. And that is quite worrying, and that is why it is a coaching issue. Let's look at the performances last night, and I have to say it is not great for most of these players that played last night. A few positives I have to look at. Daniel Kofi-Tre was strong in the Ghana Black Stars midfield. His recoveries, his set pieces were great, and he was one who would lift his head up high and say that I put in my 100% in this game versus Comoros. I tried to get Ghana qualification, but I could not help it because it is not an individual game, it is a team sport. He did his utmost best, and he was unfortunate to be on the losing side. Alexander Djiku with that equalizer to make it 2-2 as well was stoic at the back. Unfortunate, his partner Daniel Amate was caught out of position because there was a gaping hole in the left back position by Babaraman for that very first goal. A poor start from the Black Stars, the worst possible start you could have asked for. In the 4th minute, conceding that goal was not something we had written in the script, but we don't write the scripts. Abdul Fattah Issahaku got his very first start at the African Cup of Nations. A young, budding man, 17 years of age, so much pressure on him to play in this must-win game, but he did not do himself bad either. He was bright at the start taking on players, shooting at goals. He was not afraid of the big stage, and this guy will be one for the future. A player to look at closely, Abdul Fattah Issahaku. Those were the positives. Richmond Boakye Adam was great, also coming on to score his goal. He had said it in one of the presses that we need to play players more often. We need to play the strikers more often and give them a chance. And he's shown, even that ball that he scored was not even, it was out of nothing that he scored that goal. So once again, we need to give the players the chance. Richmond Boakye Adam said it in one of his pre-match presses, and it was great to see him find the back of the net. Now to the bad and the ugly. Daniel Amate caught out of position on several occasions, for the very first goal especially. It was not great for such an experienced player in the Ghana Black Stars team to have done that. He was being praised throughout the whole tournament about his partnership with Alexander Chukwu, but this time he let himself down with that performance, and it was nothing good to write home about. Andy Adam, once again, I have to speak about this, and it was not great for him in this game as well. Abdul Babaraman was caught out of position for the very first goal, and I have to say, a lot needs to change in those positions, in right back and in left back position. It was not great. We played our best football, as I said, with 10 men, and a lot of questions need to be answered. For example, why does the call-up of the national team have to include players that are injured? We knew from the start that Mubarak Wakasu would not be able to kick a ball, and now revelations are coming out, and I have found out that Wakasu was injured even before he was called up. It was thought that they could get him back in playing condition and then have him take part in the competition, but it didn't happen. Why should a player who is injured prior to call up be called up into the national team when he is not fit and when there can be other competent replacements? Why? Another one was a Kudus Mohammed situation. Kudus Mohammed had not played for Ajax since the game versus South Africa in November, and then somehow someone somewhere thought that he would be able to make it into the Ghana Black Star squad. When the names were called, we saw him flying out with his team into Portugal for mid-season training. Still, we stuck with him even when we could have made some changes in the team and called people to replace him. Why do we call players who are injured into the national team when we know very well they cannot make it to play? Another issue was the selection of Philemon Bafour. Yes, one man who has been called up several times in the national team without ever kicking a ball. 8 times, if I'm not mistaken. And the bane of all this was against Gabon, when Andy Adam was looking so tired and asked to be replaced. Jonathan Mensah went to warm up, but it looked like Philemon Bafour would have been the right replacement. Well, neither of those two replacements came in because Philemon Bafour is not trusted, quote unquote, by the coach to be played. So why do you call him into the squad? Why do you call players you can't trust? Why do you call players you can't play? Why do you call players that are injured? If you think Ghana's problem started just now, it has been happening for a couple of years now. Players not being selected on merit. Joseph Painso, our best player in the first game versus Morocco, did not maintain his starting berth in the next game versus Gabon. He was replaced. What message does that send out to the players? Don't play well and you'll still be maintained? I don't get it. And if you are one of those people that think that the sacking of Coach Milovan Rajibak will solve every single problem we have in the national team, you have to think again. Interference in call-ups apparently has not ended, and I think it will not end for a while. Management of the Ghana Black Stars has said that they don't interfere with call-ups. The call-ups are made ultimately by the coach. But we see what is happening. We see the names being called up, and we beg to differ. it is still being influenced. Coach Milovan Rajabak is being influenced to call some players onto his tactics for the Ghana Black Stars, and it's like he puts players, he tries to accelerate the Black Stars team with his leg on the brakes, hanging on to positions instead of allowing players to express themselves. Not to say we should throw caution to the wind or he should let players play anyhow, but these are players who can play. They can play football. They showed us that when they were pinned back and they had no choice than to play versus Comoros, and they did marvelously well. It's sad it had to be with 10 men before the shackles were loose. But Coach Milo is part of the problem, and I'm not going to say I don't want him out. I think it will be a start to the solution with his outing. But then he will have to be paid off if he is sacked. And with his presser last time, he said he is not ready to go. He is going to see the team out to the World Cup qualifiers, which is quite interesting to take note. He can't argue that he has not been in the job for a very long time. 3 months is a short time to build a team for the African Cup of Nations with very little preparation and with very time to prepare with players. Agreed, but his tactics were not the best. Being proactive rather than reactionary with the substitutions. When he makes late substitutions only when he scored. It was shambolic viewing in this African Cup of Nations. It should never happen. This is the lowest of lows for Ghana football, and we do not deserve that. We deserve better. We are a football-loving nation, and we deserve better. We are the fans, and we deserve to be heard. Changes need to happen, and they have to be immediate. No time to rest on these things. Whether coach will be sacked or not, it will not be the end of the problems. A lot needs to change. And I think the sacking will be the start of that in the right direction. A lot of calls for Andre Ayew and Jordan Ayew to also retire. Well, I don't know about that. I have no idea about that. I think probably they should not be playing 90 minutes or they shouldn't be starting games. But one thing is for sure, things need to change. Otherwise, we will be back here talking about why the Black Stars are not doing well at a major tournament. Your thoughts in the comments box on Coach Milo. Should he be sacked? Should Andre Ayew lead the Black Stars? Should Jordan Ayew lead the Black Stars? There are talent of players out there, and I've talked about them several times on this channel, of strikers in the position we need them. But with the tactics that is being employed by this current coach, I don't even know if they would thrive. So, reason why I am for the position that probably Coach Milo has to say goodbye to the Black Stars. But what do you think? I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your day. Have a great week.